Occupy groups, but it's been getting increasingly violent from the police side. There was a pretty unfortunate incident in Oakland, and there was one of the protesters there, his name was Scott Olson, was critically injured. He's still not recovered. He's an ex-Marine. He's got significant brain fractured skull and swelling on the brain. Anyway, as a result of this, in response to the aggressive police action, the Oakland group called for a general strike. I believe that was called for November 2nd, Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to cover it at the VA this week, because it's happening this week. New York came out in solidarity with the general strike, and some of the other Occupy groups are also endorsing the general strike. A general strike is a big deal. It basically means that people don't go into work, they keep their children home from school, I'm not sure exactly all the aspects of this general strike in particular, but I think that refraining from corporate activity was part of it. We have to decide in this group if we are going to endorse the general strike. If we agree to endorse it, doesn't necessarily mean you have to participate in it, but it is significant action, and it has been endorsed by Wall Street and several of the other occupied groups. So I guess the thing to do would be to throw it out there and say, do we agree as a group that we should endorse the general strike in solidarity with Oakland and Wall Street, or do people object to that? So is there agreement that we endorse the general strike?
I would just like to know if there's more to it than just that. If there's stay home.
No, I think that's another thing.
A lot more. Yeah, I'd like to know more about it. Oh, we have a question.
A couple.
General comment. It's a big deal to do a general strike, and my sense is that we will not stop normal runnings of things that may be a little bit premature, is my opinion, although I probably support this idea. I'm not sure we're going to get the benefit that we would like, because I think we're not quite there yet in terms of political strength. But nevertheless, we support these things in solidarity. But I would myself prefer it if it almost looks like a knee-jerk reaction, maybe a reasonable one, but a little more, maybe a little more time, a little more strength in the movement before we try those big actions like that.
There is a problem from a legal standpoint with unions endorsing general strike. I'm not sure about all the legal aspects of that, but I know that it can be illegal for a union to endorse general strike.
We want to do it with
Well, I don't think really we're going to come to consensus that everybody's going to participate. I don't know, but I think it's unlikely that everybody is going to agree to participate in the general strike. This is more really, are we endorsing it as a group?
I think one way, since we're such a small group, we're not going to have a major impact on the community if we were to go with general strike, is to, in a lot of the occupied movements that have endorsed going along with general strike, what they're doing is they're going in front of corporate stores saying, pretty much protesting any of the major corporate businesses that are out and open during the general strike to become more effective. And perhaps, if people want to, we can participate in some of that. It would definitely increase the effectiveness of it.
Going along with that?
Yeah.
If anyone would be interested, I was thinking we
I'm all for that. I think if we take a direct action against Bank of America, we may bring on some negative response from the local police department, and we need to consider if we're prepared to do that before we do that type of action. But I'm all for it.
We have a
Sandy? Yeah.
At this point, until we have a plan.
So, would you guys support?
I don't really feel comfortable telling other people they can or cannot, what they can or cannot do in the face of. I think I don't think that it makes sense for us to agree to disobey the police at this point, but to tell anybody specifically what they can or can't do in the face of. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I would like to add that, say, like, I agree, and I think that's something that a lot of people here could probably be behind, but waiting till the numbers get a little bit bigger, we can have a bigger impact. Because you don't want to blow it too soon. You know, if you want to jump out the gate with 15, 20 people, they'll brush you off as insignificant. Now, if you can have a couple hundred people doing that, then that makes a much larger statement, and, you know, you don't want to show your hand too quickly. So, would you guys possibly be supportive of having that idea for future once this particular Temecula occupation grows in size? You guys good with that?
I have a suggestion on that order.
Okay.
It may be good to have the promotions group or the outreach group work for maybe a specific goal or specific date for that event, and start working on doing community outreach, posting flyers in places where there's a lot of walking traffic, getting really out into the community to try and build our numbers over successive weeks up until a specific date that we target for a direct action like that.
Also, one more point on this. It's possible for us to do a march, which would be a little less aggressive, and maybe happen by the Bank of America, say hello for a few minutes, without actually taking the parking lot. So there's levels of aggressiveness you can get. Wells Fargo, there's a safe also.
Yeah. Sure.
And one other thing I wanted to say, this was a little off topic, but if you know, to a certain extent, if the police decide to engage us, that's going to be their decision and not ours. But if it does happen, it's important that people document it. Get your cell phones out, get your iPhones out, get your video cameras out, and just start taking pictures. Because that will protect us, and it will also document what happens, and that's important.
Question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, there is increasing
Just about the whole, if we do the march around the banks and the police do confront us, we have to remember that we all are participating in nonviolence, and as a nonviolence committee, we have to make sure that goes towards police also. We can't egg them on or you know, like, we have to remember that they're doing their jobs also, and that we have to almost work with them.
Not only can you not egg them on, if they hit you, you cannot hit back.
Yeah. So do we want to maybe take a consensus vote on supporting the general strike at this point?
Okay. Can you speak up a little bit?
We just have to be careful. My
want to do this Wednesday?
I do want to do this, but I'm not going to engage in any kind of combating, dialogue with the police.
Can I table a proposal then for the solidarity action on Wednesday? We've been at the conclusion of the General Assembly on Saturday. We've been marching through Old Town, and maybe we could do a march, like we talked about, to either through Old Town or to the various banks, and leave the action at that.
Yeah, I thought that was
And the other thing about it is, if we are going to do the march to the banks instead of through Old Town, it doesn't really make sense to do it after banking hours are closed.
Right.
So it would either have to be a daytime march or an evening march through Old Town.
So let's talk about
Are people available during the day on
I work in emergency medical services. I won't go to on Wednesday because I'm scheduled for work, and so I won't go to
Oh yeah, we have four.
Yeah, an early afternoon march might enable people who can't participate in the general strike or who can't get off work to maybe leave or work early and still participate in the march.
maybe we start at
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and that way, I mean, what, the
That's exactly.
we go in together, 3, that's not.
Okay, and then we can put the finishing touches on the coordination of this Facebook group.
You also potentially have jury duty this week.
3 o'clock on Wednesday, in solidarity with the general strike called by Oakland, we will have a march.
Start, right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have consensus on that? Fantastic.
Okay.
And then one more note on that I wanted to bring up was we need to talk about whether we're going to do our regular march through Old Town today. We've been pretty loud and vocal during this march, kind of turned a lot of heads, and given the increased aggressiveness of police action, I'm not 100% certain if we march on Old Town and we're loud and turning heads, that we won't be engaged today. So, are people willing to take that risk? Do people intend on marching today?
I think if we do encounter police at this point, I think maybe if they do ask us to leave, maybe we should just go for now. Yeah, we know for the future if there's going to be a problem. We won't know until we try it.
Yeah, that would be, a lot of bars, a lot of bikers.
I ducked into the beer and wine garden after the last march and was hanging out with all the bikers. I mean, I really don't take it
We can't avoid doing something, or just because we think that something might happen, or that we're afraid that somebody might say something. We have to just go out there, and if it happens, we practice nonviolence, we turn the other way, and we keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We can't make decisions based on like fear or oh my God, they might do this, they might do that. We just have to go out and do it.
Okay, so then it seems like we're agreed that we want to continue with the march today, and if we have any kind of negative police interaction, that the group is not willing to take a solidarity stand and risk arrest on this march.
Anything else?
Do we want to have if we did have a problem marching today, do we want to have like a regrouping location in mind?
Right here?
Okay.
Yeah, well, after the march, we've been coming back to the corner for another hour or so, so why don't, if the march gets expanded, we just meet back on the corner.
Okay.
Sound good?
Good.
You guys like to split into committees now, and then is flowing. That's how good you guys. All right, cool. So let's. What are the
Let's put it.
committee?